floorboard might have been used as a seesaw.
Huh? A seesaw?
I mean, I was thinking of it more like a lever, but it's the same thing. A seesaw is a lever.
The cross piece at one end of the floorboard had been cut off. The other two cross pieces holding up that board were close to the cage. Meaning, if you were to apply force to the end of the floorboard with no cross piece.
But that's not really a seesaw, because the seesaw has a pivot point at the very center. But in this case, the pivot point would be at the far left. Oh,
the next cross piece would act as a fulcrum to turn the floorboard into a lever.
Wait, what? So they're saying that they pulled down on it? But they would have had to have been outside or used the spiky weapon, to whatever it was called, the scythe or whatever, to go through the floorboards, then yank downwards. But what would that accomplish? Unless there was already a stabby weapon, like inside the thing, like maybe inside the statue.
A lever capable of lifting up Tenko's entire body.
But we already know there was no holes in the cloth, so nothing could have pierced through the cloth and stabbed Tenko. So what does that mean?
Her whole body lifted up? Yeah, that sounds like a seesaw, all right. But why bother lifting Tenko's body?
They couldn't have killed Tenko like that, unless they used the sickle.
That's exactly it. Using the seesaw trick, it was possible to kill Tenko with a sickle.
How?
Huh?
What are they doing
How?
in that way?
In order for the culprit to kill Tenko with a seesaw trick, the placement of the sickle is the most important factor.
Oh, so you stick this end of the sickle, like, through the floorboards, then, like, you stick it, you make it go up through the floorboards, and you rotate it like this, so that it's just, like, just behind her neck, and then you saw her into the sickle like that. Is that the idea? And because it can't go any further in because of its handle, it'll stay there automatically? Floorboard seesaw, the cage, and the blood on the white fabric. What conclusions can I draw from this? There's only one place the sickle could have been that is consistent with the evidence. Between the victim and the floorboard. Yes. It was, well, that doesn't quite say it, but yes. Perhaps the seesaw motion caused the sickle to pop up from the floorboard? What?
Oh no!
That's not... Wait, what? Underneath the floorboard? The top of the cage? Next to the cage, underneath the floorboard? Are we saying this?
That's it! The sickle was at the top of the iron cage, with the blade facing down.
But that's also what the other thing said. That's not... Because it's not really true. It wasn't at the top of the cage. Sure, the blade part was going up to the top of the cage towards their neck, but the bottom part was still underneath the floorboards. So I don't know what they're talking about. No, it was like that?
See it was because of the fabric covering the cage.
What? The reason we didn't see it was because of the fabric covering the cage. But that is showing it like sticking out of the statue, and that's not right at all.
Also, the wooden statue kept the blade in place.
What? But we set this all up ourselves. How does this make any sense? And how did it disappear from that location after doing the stabbing? And how did it not cut through the white cloth?
It's true that the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble.
What? What do you mean the sickle's handle was thick, which made the statue wobble? We put the statue on there, like, securely.
But the statue's weight kept it from falling over.
What?
Once everything was in place, If you stepped hard enough on the seesaw, Tenko's body would have shot upward and hit the blade on the top of the cage.
Okay, but they didn't step on the seesaw, they pulled on the seesaw. Because they were underneath, were they not? Or were they above?
She was bent over, meaning the sickle's blade would have connected with her neck.
So, if we say that the person was not underneath, and they were actually above the whole time, then that means that the person who did this murder had to be somebody who was in the seance room above ground. And that person could only really have been Himiko. So Himiko was the one, I mean, she was always suspicious from the very beginning, but I don't know.
The 6-inch sickle blade wasn't long enough to stab Tenko in her crouched position. But with the floorboard acting as a seesaw, they could compensate for the blade's length.
Well, it's not about it being long enough. It's good that it wasn't long enough in this case. They wanted it to not be long enough so that they could just generate the force with the seesaw. If it was long enough to reach her neck already, she would have noticed it immediately.
Bringing the victim to the sickle rather than bringing the sickle to the victim.
And also, even if this is true, it doesn't explain why she didn't say anything after getting stabbed. Because we know she didn't actually die instantly.
That's definitely an unorthodox idea.
It's crazy, but it would explain how Tenko got stabbed while she was in the cage.
So the sound we heard was the culprit stomping on the floorboard.
Neither of them are reacting too strongly to this, which is really confusing.
That impact makes
me think it's not right.
Loose.
Looks like we got ourselves a good old-fashioned seesaw homicide. Wait, what the hell's a seesaw homicide? That's fucking crazy!
The craziness is what really makes the killing game fun, you know? They can't get away with murder the normal way, so they gotta think outside the box.
Okay, let me just check one more time, just to verify. White sheet. Thick and cannot be seen through. Blood on the back, but there's no hole in the fabric. So why do we have this theory? I don't get it. Why is this our theory when it's obviously wrong?
Kudos, culprit! You did a great job keeping me entertained.
Indeed. Well played, Himiko.
Yeah?
It was you, wasn't it? The one behind the seesaw homicide.
Okay, so they're suspecting her as well.
Huh? Why her?
Well, because it wasn't us, and it wasn't Korakiyo, and it wasn't Kokichi.
She's the only one capable of carrying out this plan.
The only one? Why's that?
Because this seesaw homicide required its location to be prepared beforehand. By cutting the crosspiece beneath the floorboard, you mean? Then the culprit would need to lure their victim into the prepared room. That is why you chose that room for the seance. Is it not, Himiko?
Yeah, we already know. She said to go to the middle room.
Oh yeah! Himiko was the one who chose the site for the seance!
But she would also have to know exactly how the seance was done. Of course.
She likely found out about my plans for the seance somehow. You were quite vocal about the seance, Kiyo. You even had instructions for it in your lab.
And she was interested in magic stuff.
Our culprit, Himiko, prepared her seesaw trap ahead of time. Then she waited for me to host the seance and suggested the middle room.
But she also... She initially wanted to be the one to go in the middle and be the seance person. So this doesn't fit at all.
She led us all into holding the seance right where she wanted it. Then, she killed Tenko, all according to plan.
That's a lie, right? Himiko did such a thing?
In the end, Himiko, who Tenko cherished and loved, tragically killed her.
Wait! We don't know that, right?
If she might have, but I don't think she did that in this way, that's for sure.
He's wrong, right, Himiko? Himiko would never kill Tenko, right?
Kill Tenko? I killed Tenko?
Dot dot dot.
Himiko?
What's wrong, Himiko?
It is true that using the middle room was Himiko's idea. Does that mean that Himiko really killed Tenko? Would something like that really happen? Something so cruel. What's happening? Intermission? Oh, intermission. Yeah, okay. But no, that's definitely not the way the killing happened, in my opinion. Just because of the white tablecloth thingy, we already know that's not true. Yeah, we'll save over here. Alright, and then I'm gonna get myself a snack, and then we'll be back for part 2. So, let me go do that real quick. Alright, let's continue on. Monokuma and Cubs Theater. Looks like we've reached the intermission segment, which means it's time for our Guess the Victim quiz.
Yeah!
A victim quiz? Not a culprit quiz? Oh, no. The only victims are the people who are still watching this drawn-out, boring crap. Why are you being such a downer all of a sudden?
It's okay.
It's okay. I am sure everyone is happy. How do you know? They could be skipping the entire conversation for all you know. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I'm the real victim here. Me! Why are you getting upset? If anything, I'm the real victim. I gotta put up with all this nonsense all the time.
Absolutely right!
That's the right answer, Monodam. Why? He hasn't said anything. Well, I said dot dot dot.
Hey,
Is dot 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 the right answer to who the real victim is? Exactly, because there are no victims. Yep, even if you're killed in this killing game, you're a winner. Because then everyone mourns you and you get tons of posthumous popularity.
Daddy!
Oh, Daddy, you don't need to reveal these kinds of behind-the-scenes details.
All right!
Dying makes you more popular? Then we gotta die soon too. Okay, thanks for the enlightening commentary. Resume.
This is my impression of a spooky, scary ghost.
Woo, scary!
Ah! I'm fine with real ghosts, but impressions of them are too scary!
Logic does not compute.
Did you hear something? No, I didn't hear anything.
You're on the threshold of an amazing adventure.
You know what else is scary? Sweet buns. Yep, tasty, tasty sweet buns.
I'd ask, well, how is that scary? But none of their dialogue is ever gonna make any sense, so it doesn't matter.
So sweet, so delicious. That doesn't sound scary at all.
I'm scared too. Scared of losing my friends.
What do you mean? You're the one that's gonna be killing your friends very soon.
Did you hear something? No, I didn't hear anything.
Dot dot dot.
Answer us, Himiko. You chose the middle room to lure us into your trap, did you not? Then you used that trap to kill Tenko, yes?
Well, Donkey Lips, did you kill that twat?
Wait, must be some mistake. No way Himiko is culprit.
Then she needs to defend herself. Otherwise, this debate is deadlocked.
I don't care if you gotta use magic to do it, but say something already.
Are you even listening?
No, I'm not listening.
What?
I don't care anymore. I'm too tired.
It's too much of a pain.
Angie died. Tenko died. Why did I have to survive? And now, you're all saying I killed them? I just don't care anymore.
Himiko.
Do whatever. If you want to vote for me, then just go ahead.
The game gets really blah if the suspect isn't into it.
It's not as exciting anymore, Kokichi.
That's not the problem.
Damn it. Don't tell me you've given up.
Himiko, don't give up.
Don't you understand? My life is riding on the outcome of this trial!
Obviously, things aren't ending right here.
Just shut up.
We're not just gonna stop here with Himiko being the culprit.
It's all just a big pain.
There we go, there's the
I
line.
can't put up with it anymore.
It's all a pain.
What are you talking about? If you give up here...
You needn't worry. Himiko was the one who chose that room. Therefore, she is unmistakably the culprit.
Impossible! Himiko would never kill Tenko! Himiko not that kind of person. Gonta can tell by Himiko's face.
Himiko's a little slow, so I don't think she's capable of handling a complicated crime.
And also, she said to vote for her, but we're not actually voting for the culprit of Tenko's murder. So that doesn't actually matter.
I also think Himiko's not the culprit. Somehow.
But now maybe we can move on to the actual murder case?
Either way, we gotta
As
look
in
for
the
more
one important
possibilities.
one? Why? Why are you trying to delay us more, Kaito? What do you mean we gotta look for more possibilities? No, we don't. We're done now. Let's go talk about your murder now. Let's talk about Angie's murder, huh?
That does seem like rather a pointless quest.
I see. So this is the culmination of our lie. Our lie allowed us to paint Himiko as the culprit, at least temporarily, in Tenko's murder, so that we could finally move on to the more important murder that Kokichi wanted us to focus on, the murder of Angie, and what Kaito has been trying to lead us away from.
No, is not. We gotta be strong. Gotta keep thinking. Then we might find new truth. So no give up, Himiko.
Himiko, I know how you feel. I felt the same way after Kaede died. But we can't give up. We survived. We can't give up for the sake of everyone who died. Alright. What do we do now? What are we talking about? Are we switching topics finally? To the main murder? Bloody Kokichi?
Performing the seance in that room was Himiko's decision, was it not?
What if someone steered her into picking that room?
Why are we still talking about this?
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle one, Himiko? Because you laid your trap there.
Was trap only in that room? Other rooms may be trapped too.
No, there's the cross piece, so that can't be true.
Yeah, even if Himiko picked the room, someone else could have set that trap.
Your opinions are empty words. ...
So the fact that the cross piece is only cut in one area, the culprit plan were to make Himiko if the culprit's plan were to make Himiko a suspect, they might have persuaded her to choose that room somehow. But how, and what would that tell us? How could they persuaded her?
In that room
Kate's child?
was Himiko's
Let me read this again. So there was like a person that survived, right? I don't know if we can read about that though. No light. Magic circle passed down from the Cage Eye village. Blah blah blah. Curl up like a turtle. Turn off the lights. Sing the song. What are the other truths? Sound.
What if
Hole in the
someone
corner.
steered her into picking that room?
Someone steered her into.
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle one, Himiko? because you laid your trap there.
What does Bloody Kokishi have to do with anything? Oh! That room also had a part of the crosspiece cut off, the portion that supported the floorboard. So all of them were trapped, not just... Oh, right. I forgot about that. So that proves that it wasn't necessarily with a room. But why are we doing this?
Maybe trap too.
Yeah, they are. So that's the one I'm supposed to shoot at. But my question is, why are we even trying to reveal this? This is not the time. We should just be like, okay, fine, Himiko was the killer for this one. Let's move on to the next case, right? I thought that was the whole point of our lie. Like, why are we still trying to debate this? Was that not why we did that lie? I mean, I guess the main reason we did the lie was just to get us away from the whole suicide thing.
Was Himiko's decision.
And I guess we really do just want to solve this one first.
Of the 3 empty rooms, why did you select the middle one, Himiko? You laid your trap there.
Was trap only in that room?
It was not.
Other rooms.
Maybe trap too.
Nice.
I agree.
It's just like Gonta said. Each room was the same. They were all trapped.
What? Is that true?
Yeah, Kokuchi found
I'll
out.
tell you.
He's asleep now.
I was way too careless. Wait, what are you talking about?
I guess there was no crosspiece supporting the floorboard, so I kinda stepped through. Also, he wanted to take a look at something first, and I don't remember what it was. What bad luck. He didn't have enough time to check on something, and I forgot what it was.
While you were in the room next to the crime scene, you found a loose floorboard, right?
Well, I didn't find it so much as I stepped through it and tripped.
What? Hold on! There was also a loose floorboard in the next room?
So the culprit prepared a trap in all 3 empty rooms, not just the middle one.
Okay, so they already figured that somebody would go there to do the seance then?
If the culprit set traps in all the rooms, then they wouldn't need to select a room themselves.
So the real trap was for someone else to pick a room and take the blame.
I see. We were caught in the culprit's trap all along.
So that means it still could be Korakiyo.
Especially you!
But now there's no reason to suspect Himiko.
Although I
right?
don't think it was, but...
Himiko, do you remember what Tenko told you?
Yeah, but those words have never really worked on her. Tenko was always trying to encourage her, but Himiko has just been
facing forward.
pushing her away
She
the
said
whole
that to
time.
you, right? If you give up on living, you'd be betraying her memory. We're all trying to keep our promises to the dead. This trial, it's not just for our lives. It's for everyone who's died as well. That's why we can't give up. This is our responsibility. We live on.
You're right. Yeah, that's right. If I gave up here, I wouldn't be able to face Angie or Tenko.
That's right. So let's do our best.
Man, they had to die just so that she could decide to step forward. That's a heavy price to pay just for some character development. That's for sure. Ah,
Alright, I'm not gonna say it's a pain anymore.
that was sudden. Okay, a little bit sudden, but sure.
I won't give up. I'll fight alongside everyone and survive.
Do not say everyone. After all, the Blackened is still among us.
Jeez, there you go. Killing the mood like usual.
Killing the mood, huh?
But
saying he's the killer?
Well said, Shuichi. That's what I'd expect from my soul, bro.
Your soul, bro?
Well, anyway, do you think the Blackened this time has some sort of superpower?
What are you talking about?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert of stepping through floorboards, isn't it weird that no one stepped through that floorboard before the culprit used it?
Interesting. Well, they did say to not step on the marks, right? Not step on the sand or whatever that they were using to make the circle. That was Korekiyo.
Ah, that is a good point.
It must have been barrier magic. Well, that's one possibility, but I think it might have been something else.
Why did no one step on the floorboard until it was used for the murder? Ah, that's it. That must be the reason. Where is it? Magic circle.
This is it! It's because of the magic circle at the scene of the crime.
And it was all messed up afterwards, too. Let me take a look at the tooth bolt real quick. After Tenko's body was found, the magic circle was trampled on. So, yeah, we didn't see immediately what it all looked like. Like, if it wasn't... What am I trying to say here? If it wasn't all messed up, then it would have been able to see that only the certain part of it was trampled on. Like, only the certain part where the floorboard moved was messed up, and that would have revealed stuff. But also, the entrance to the magic circle is on the left side there. And that's the only way they could have entered the circle. Like, that's the best way to enter the circle without making that floorboard pop up and whatever. So yeah, I think at this point, I don't think there's anybody who it could have been that did the murder other than Korekiyo. Because this proves that Korekiyo knew about that floorboard. There's no way that Korekiyo would have set this circle up in this exact way if he didn't know about the floorboard. And while he was setting up the circle, he should have noticed the floorboard as well. He probably would have tripped through it as well. I mean, unless somebody else knew about the magic... No, but it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense because... Yeah, it's got to be him at this point. But that's weird. I wouldn't have thought it would have been him. Again, he seems like the type to want to observe people doing things, not do things himself. I just don't understand. Yeah, watch your step.
Before we began the seance, we were warned not to step on the circle. The floorboard in question was within the circle. That's why no one stepped on it.
So the magic circle's purpose was to keep us away from the whole trick.
That was part of the culprit's plans too?
That's right. If that's the case, then the culprit... No doubt in my mind, they're the one who killed Tenko. Only one person had the opportunity and the motive. Well, I don't know anything about the motive, but the only person who could have set this up is Korekiyo now.
It has to be you!
But was he the one who killed Angie as well?
Kyo, was it you?
Whatever are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tenko's murder.
Kyo?
This is not what I would have expected, and that's very interesting because he was one of the obvious suspects since he made the seance stuff happen. He was the one who set it all up. So you would think that it wouldn't be him, but apparently it is him.
Why do you suspect me?
I can't think of it being anybody else except you now.
Because you were the one who drew the magic circle. The circle kept us from discovering the seesaw trick.
But also, why did he do it in this way? Because He must have just not cared who he killed. Because it was either going to be Himiko or it was going to be Tenko. It wasn't necessarily going to be anyone specific that he was going to kill here. So did he just not care who would get killed?
But that's not all it was for. In order to make the murder succeed, variables like Tenko's position and the placement of the cage needed to be defined. And those variables were defined by using the magic circle. In short, the circle itself was the most important tool in this murder.
But still, the whole
That,
cloth thing.
The person who drew the magic circle has to be the culprit.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I mean, all that makes a lot of sense if we assume that the murder happened the way it did with the whole seesaw trick. But the murder did not happen with the freaking seesaw trick. That was a lie. There's no way that that's actually what happened in the murder. There's no way. Because the cloth was not poked through.
Well, Kyo,
But then again, like he would have tripped over that if he had not already unless he already knew about the thing, the hole. So, perhaps he already knew about the hole there, and he set up the seance thing for this thing, but maybe he wasn't planning on killing anybody in this one. What my thoughts are now is that the way that we're thinking that Tenko was killed was not how Tenko was killed, it was how Angie was killed. And Tenko was killed by somebody else in a different way. And Korikyo really did kill somebody in this kind of method, but he did it with Angie. And he just decided that we would go, he decided that we'd do a seance for Tenko or to go like listen to Angie's spirit or whatever, right? And Himiko decided to go to these rooms. And he used it. And because Himiko decided to go to those rooms and he didn't want anybody to reveal his secret about the whole floorboard thingy, he just made the circle so that nobody would go into the floorboard thingy. Just like he did with it, I don't know, something like that. There's something like that going on. This is not as simple as it looks. I don't think it is.
Answer already! Did you do it?
What is so funny?
I was just thinking. So this is how each Blackened must have felt. What an intriguing experience this is.
What?
What? An intriguing experience?
Do you just want to feel what it was like to be a Blackened?
But if I am the culprit as you claim, then I stomped on the floorboard, yes? So, do tell. How could I have stomped on the floorboard during that darkened seance?
Oh, you would have.
That is problem.
That's not that big of a problem. You easily could have understood the layout of the room beforehand. You could have placed yourself in a place where it's like, oh, I go 2 steps forward, then bonk. Like, yeah, it's not that tough, okay?
Unless that is made clear, you cannot be certain I am the culprit.
It's really not hard to think up a method like, okay, I'll take 3 steps this way, 2 steps that way, feel for the seam on the corner, then stomp or something like that, right?
how can you be so calm when you're backed into a corner like this?
I will explain that in due time. Please answer my question first.
The culprit stepped on that exact floorboard even in the darkness. But how? How did they move around in total darkness? In a room that dark, it's hard to imagine the culprit found the right board. Although, even after I put out the candle, I could move along the wall with my hand.
Wait a minute. Maybe...
Did you figure it out?
No. Say it, the culprit didn't even have to see it all. They used hearing, touch, smell, sixth sense. Touch? They could have felt the floorboard?
That's it! The culprit used touch. They didn't see, they felt.
That way they could get around in the dark, like how I got to the candle.
I also had another thought just now. So let's say that Corticchio is not either Angie's killer or Tenko's killer. Let's say he is a completely innocent party on all this. How could that be the case? How could he have not known about the loose floorboard? He could have not known about it if the floorboard was not loose at that time. Let's assume, or let's like, what if the floorboard was being like part of the like subfloor was cut off, right? But something else could have propped that up until the right time. What could have propped it up? Well, you could have like positioned the scythe in such a way that it supported the floorboard until you're ready to do the murder. Then you could have gone down there, like grabbed it, yanked it, and then you could have gone and done whatever it is you're gonna do, right? That's possible. Or I'm sure there's other ways you could have done it as well to support the floorboard just a little bit so that people didn't fall through while you were setting everything, while you're not ready to do anything yet. So there are possibilities. Is what I'm trying to say.
In middle of room? Gonta doesn't think it was near wall.
So they probably used something besides the wall to move then, right?
Were there any other markers within reach?
Of course, the answer to that is there was nothing of the sort.
No, I'm sure there was something. Well, obviously there was the thing in the center of the room. There's the cage itself. Landmark they could have used to determine where the floorboard was. It must have been at the scene, I know it. It's gotta be the statue thing, right? What was it called again? Can I open I can't open my thing. What was it called? The caged dog statue. Crap, I don't know what I'm doing here. M. A? What am I spelling? Magic? Magic what? Also, which one is an I and which one is an L there? Like, what are the green things? Magic. Magic carpet? L? Okay, so those are E? Maybe it's an R. No, okay. Well, we died at a Hangman's Gambit again. Of course we did.
We can't let it.
This is the only thing that's killing me right now. Okay, now what? A lot of R's, a lot of I's, and a lot of E's and L's. I thought I tried L already. I did. I tried R. Try I. It is a. Okay, I didn't try I guess. Magic. Magic circle? What was the question? Okay, so they use the magic circle itself. Okay. I guess the dust on the ground or whatever. I guess if they went on their hands, they could figure that out.
I see now. That's it. The magic circle. They used the magic circle. Remember? The magic circle was drawn with salt. The culprit used the salt's texture to feel their way through the dark.
Still, that would have been a little bit tricky.
I see. So Kyo traced the magic circle with his hands to get to the loose floorboard.
Honestly, though, I still feel like it would have been easier to just count steps. Like, you don't need to find your position that precisely to find a floorboard that's loose. You just need to go like a few steps this way, a few steps that way, and then you feel for the cage. And then you're like, okay, I'm at the cage. This must be the floorboard right here. You stomp on it, right? You don't need to, if you were trying to like go on your hands on the ground to try to feel for exactly how this sand was arranged, and every time you touch it, it's also changing where the sand is a little bit. Like, that sounds like a pain. That sounds like a really slow method compared to just counting steps. So, I don't know about this.
Oh, I see. You drew the magic circle with salt to use it as a guide.
And if you're worried about your steps being different lengths, just do the kind of steps where it's 1 foot like right in front of the other foot. And you just do that a certain exact number of times, and then you're there. You're in the exact spot. All you have to do is make sure like you position yourself precisely correctly, or position like one of your feet precisely correctly before the lights go out. So like you leave your left foot pointed directly at the floorboard, and then you count exactly how many steps it takes to go to there from that exact position. And you could even like mark where your foot's supposed to start ahead of time with, I don't know, any random piece of dirt, and just remember what that piece of dirt looks like, and put your heel like or whatever exactly on that piece of dirt, pointed exactly at the right spot, and count exactly the right number of steps. That's way faster and more consistent than whatever the heck this plan was.
An interesting thought. It is unfortunate that it is so wrong.
I agree that it's so wrong. What?
Recall the document. What did the magic circle look like?
Based on the document, the magic circle wouldn't reach the corners of the room.
So what?
When the room was darkened, each of us was in a corner of the room, yes? The magic circle didn't reach us, so I could not have followed it, yes?
But you're talking about the magic circle in the document. That doesn't mean the circle you drew was the same.
But I'm pretty sure it was the same.
No, I most definitely drew it exactly the same. I have it perfectly memorized.
So which is it? Is there any way to check?
Not anymore. The magic circle is a complete mess from being trampled on.
I see, another piece of the puzzle. Drawing the circle with salt all but guaranteed it would be temporary. The investigation itself would have gotten rid of the evidence. Clever.
Everyone, may I have your attention, please?
Your recording abilities? And also, like, we even if we don't remember its exact, like, specifications, I think we could remember that it didn't reach the corners of the room. Not that that honestly matters in my opinion, but...
We don't have any way to check it now.
Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
Well, I guess there's no point in discussing the magic circle anymore.
Kokichi, why do you want to stop discussing the magic circle and move on to something else? Are you wanting to move on to Andy's murder as well?
Hey, may I have your attention?
Oh, I said cut that out! It's too bright!
I apologize. I just wanted everyone to listen to me.
About what?
I had Miu add another function to my body, in addition to the flashlight.
What the?
Video recording?
No way! Did you really? Stop! You can't! I didn't install it for that purpose!
Wait, install what for what purpose?
Please, let me use it. With it, I might be able to save everyone.
Alright, so what is this function?
It's an image recording function.
What purpose does she want it to serve?
Image recording?
If it is,
Specifically, this function allows me to dispense
why would she
a
be upset
printout
about
of
him
my
doing
own
image
memory.
recording?
I'll give it a try. Ready?
From your mouth?
I also used magic like that before.
I'm sure. It's probably with playing cards, though.
This printout is my memory of being kicked out of the seance. Please confirm that the floor of the empty room is clearly visible. Go on, take the picture and see for yourself.
Okay, got it.
I reluctantly took the paper from Kibo's mouth. A neat ability. Oh, it's got lines going to the corners. This is the magic circle used for the seance.
Well, Shuichi, do you notice anything?
Notice, and, yeah. You do. What lines? Oh, I'm off?
I was wrong.
Wait, I'm looking at the corner. What are you talking about? Are you saying I need to look at this corner or the other corner?
There.
What?
This hurts a lot, Kibo. Without you.
Give me my heart back. I demand a refund. I demand my heart back. What was that? What was that? I clicked on the corner, did I not? Was that not corner enough for you, game?
I never would have seen through Kiyo's lie.
My lie.
You just said that you drew the magic circle exactly as it appears in the document. But that's a lie, isn't it? The magic circle at the scene had lines that stretched to the room's corners, which means that you would be able to find the floorboard from anywhere in the room.
So it was different from the document after all.
All because Himiko noticed. And because of Kibo, too.
Hey, where's my things? I'm the one who installed that function into Kibo.
But what did you mean it to be used
What
for?
was it you were saying about its purpose?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, to be honest, the purpose of that image recording function is to monitor my health. Specifically, I make Kibo use that function every day to analyze my turds.
Let's move on.
Why?
Let's move on. Let's not try to question whatever the heck she's talking about.
It is a great indicator of intestinal health and gut bacteria quality.
I'm sure Nekomaru would agree, but it's not important right now.
Taking a satisfying shit does wonders for a woman's natural beauty, so... See? You're all grossed out! This is why I didn't want to tell you about my plan!
Well, I didn't want to ask either, so I'm sorry.
Quit talking about your poop. No one cares. Kiyo, you killed Tenko, didn't you? Just give up and admit it already.
So, Kiyo, if you have any objections, you can...
Your deductions are fiction.
What's going on now?
Well, since you've given me the option, I will most certainly object. To be honest, it's unimportant, but it may be an amusing diversion.
Unimportant?
Now I shall bear witness to your abilities, Shuichi. Do entertain me.
Okay, what do we got here? Marcus on the white sheet. It's probably
If
it,
you're
right?
going to claim I am the culprit,
What?
then what of the murder weapon? It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So suspicion should fall on them.
Kiyo's attitude is disconcerting, but first I need to counter his argument.
If you are going to
Okay, let
claim
me
I am
just
the
do that
culprit,
better this time.
then what of the murder weapon? It was set up in the cage. The only people capable of that are Kokichi and Shuichi, who carried the cage. So
It's an
suspicion
awkward
should
way to
fall on
shoot it. There we go.
True, we could have placed the sickle there, but we could not have removed it later. Because we weren't the ones who lifted the cage. That was Himiko.
The only person who could have collected the sickle is Himiko. But the only people who could have placed the sickle are Kokichi and Shuichi. But in regards to that dilemma, I did not carry the cage, nor did I had no opportunity to touch the sickle.
When he was removing the white sheet, is that what we're trying to say?
The only person who could have set up the sickle and retrieved it afterward is Kyo. That was done by covering the cage with a white cloth.
Okay, so you're saying that the sickle was underneath the cloth and in the cage. But we would have seen him holding on to the sickle, wouldn't we? Unless he stored it in the
You could have
cloth?
secretly placed the sickle when you draped the cloth.
I guess he could have held the sickle in the cloth. And then when he placed on the cloth, yeah, he could have put the sickle in the exact spot. That would have been really tricky to do. To surreptitiously place the sickle in exactly the right spot while seeming to just lay down the cloth. And like, if it's misaligned, you have to go in there and go like, lift it up and put it back in a different hole,
Retrieve
right?
it afterward, when you removed the cloth. Then, while everyone was distracted, you discreetly dropped the sickle under the floor.
Wonderful! That's exactly correct.
Okay, apparently it was him. What?
It's correct. Then why don't you give up already?
The trick I put so much work into is just wasted effort now. Alas.
So, it was you? You killed Tenko?
By wasted effort, you mean you can't become the blackened here? Anyways, I mean, it'd be wasted effort either way. Like, even if it was his murder and we were trying to find him as the blackened, he would just be sentenced to death now. But also, it doesn't count anyways, because we're searching for the Angie's murderer, not him.
Let me guess. You'll never forgive me. Himiko, you must hate me so very much. Maybe you'd feel better if I was executed by Monokuma. But unfortunately for you, that won't happen. Because if you vote for me, every spotless, including myself, will die.
What you talking about, Kyo?
Why is she speaking like that suddenly?
You still don't understand? I killed Tenko, that is the truth. But it is meaningless in this class trial.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to go talk about Angie's murder, not Tenko's, sadly.
You mean Monokuma's extra rule, right?
Ah, that's right. What happens to your votes if there are two blackened candidates? Well, I have an answer for that. It's first come, first served.
You see,
Got it.
I killed Tenko, but not Angie. For us, Tenko's death is nothing but a trivial issue. Because the blackened in this trial is the culprit who killed Angie.
I wonder why he decided to kill Tenko. Did he think that would allow him to get out? Because we didn't know about Monokuma's extra rule at that point. Or did he just do it to mess with us?
Trivial issue? No, that's gotta be a lie. You probably killed Angie too.
That is simply not possible. Recall that I was unable to enter Angie's lab.
Oh, only student council members and Kokichi could enter research lab.
How could I have possibly killed Angie when I couldn't even enter her lab?
No, because she wasn't killed in the lab, though. So it still could have been Korikyo that killed Angie.
We can figure that out. No one else could have done it besides you. If you're the one who killed Tenko, you gotta be the one who killed Angie.
I understand how you feel, Himiko, but maybe we can discuss this rationally and calmly. There is a non-zero possibility that Kyo is telling the truth.
So you understand how she feels. I see. Wait, robots can understand human feelings?
Of course I understand. I work really hard to understand.
Hey, why you getting all worked up, Kibo? Chill, dude.
That's enough! It's voting time! I'm gonna vote for him!
It's not voting time yet, Himiko.
Voting for me will only help the one who murdered Angie.
Isn't Kyo culprit?
Of course I'm not. This case was an error on my part. Monokuma added that rule after both bodies were found, yes? How was I to know that the trial would only be for Angie's killer? Had I known, I certainly wouldn't have killed Tenko.
Okay, so you just
killed Tenko and Angie!
So you just wanted to get out? And Himiko is really going after him as being the one who killed Angie, which is really making her the one that's suspicious. And it goes along with what Kokichi said about how if somebody reveals themselves as the killer, then when they're not the killer, then the real killer might try to really pin it on them and really accuse them and push that forward as much as possible. And I feel like that's exactly what we're getting here. But it still doesn't explain the whole stuff, all the stuff with Kaito.
Now hold on. Jumping to conclusions here is dangerous.
We should talk it out more. This case might have juicy plot twists waiting to happen.
True.
Nuts to that. Any way you look at this case, Kyo is obviously the culprit.
Yeah, there's sort of no other way to look at it.
No, it's too dangerous to vote before we arrive at a logical decision.
The culprit's one of you!
What?
Wowee! This argument is getting intense! At times like this...
Monokuma just interjecting, huh?
The Ultimate Academy is proud to present its very own more phenomenal trial ground!
More phenomenal? What is that supposed to mean?
Hey, I've been waiting for this!
What?
Why were you waiting for it?
Because he's just here to have fun. Kyo confessed to killing Tenko, but insists he didn't kill Angie. We won't forgive Kyo for what he did, but we can't vote until we know the facts. I have to pin down the evidence and convince everyone. Okay. Split opinion. Oh, we're doing this thing. Okay. This thing's always kind of annoying because you have to. It's hard for me to listen and do stuff at the same time. But I'll do my best to listen and choose things simultaneously.
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
I got this! But he couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
I got this! But he couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found in Kyo's lab.
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
So Kyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kokichi! Perhaps there's a second blackened we need to find.
He was planning to use the new rule to protect himself all along.
Kyo! Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
We solved the mystery of Tenko's death. Can't we just vote now?
I got this! Not yet. There's still another mystery to solve.
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
When we aren't consistent, our position looks weak. We have to work together. If we vote now, we'll never know the truth. We have to stand at that point.
Kyo killed Tenko and Angie!
Kibo! We don't know for certain that Kyo killed Angie.
He forced his way into Angie's research lab and killed her!
Kyo! Anyone could have entered my lab.
The katana
Darn
was
it.
found in Kyo's lab.
Kyo! Anyone.
Go around for another loop.
So Kyo did kill Tenko, but he not blackened?
Kokichi!
Perhaps there's a second blackened we need to find. He was planning to use the new rule to protect himself all along.
Kyo!
Not possible. That rule was added after both murders.
I got this! Not yet. There's still another mystery.
Okay, let's try that again.
Io killed Tanko and
Kibo!
We don't know for certain.
Nekio killed Angie. He forced his way.
I got this! But he
Couldn't get into Angie's research lab.
The katana was found.
kill!
Anyone could have entered my lab.
Did kill Tanko.
Kokichi!
Perhaps there's a second bracket we need to find.
Kill!
Not possible.
That rule was added after both murders. The mystery.
Okay, there we go.
Not yet. There's still another mystery to solve.
Not a big fan of this particular one, but it's alright. It works. Oh, and we have to do this crap again. Why do we have to do this crap? Why? You know, some people are just physically unable to do that kind of challenge. And that's a problem. It's an accessibility problem.
He solved Angie's murder. And there's still the mystery of Tanko's murder.
They have to install a macro to do it, probably.